Let's begin with security matter. From Kaduna to Plateau, with sadness, gunmen have killed 10 persons and injured 19 others during a cultural festival in a community in Irigwe, chiefdom of Basa local government area of Plateau State. The criminals launched the attack during an annual festival which usually usher the community into a new farming season. This is becoming embarrassing, Mayor. Now, the Inspector General of Police was said to have gone to the Abuja-Kaduna Expressway and declaring that it's not true that that road is not safe, that the road is safe. He went there to do a kind of on-the-spot assessment. But lo and behold, what are we hearing again?
Yeah, I think we have to acknowledge the fact that the president seems to be very weak when it comes to issues of security. And my problem with him is that he keeps doing the same thing all over again, and they expect to have a different result. Anytime you have killings as embarrassing as this, the president will call the service chiefs. He will meet with them. After meeting with them, he will issue an order telling Nigerians that he has instructed the service chiefs to go after those criminals and bring them to justice. He has done that more than 5 times. So the Inspector General of Police going to that Kaduna-Abuja highway is not because they can do anything. He just wants to be seen to have carried out the instruction given out by the Commander-in-Chief. And you see, we have to be very wary of something. When the Inspector General of Police go to a place and assure Nigerians that this road is safe, and the very following day, it is proven that the road is not safe, it becomes much difficult because, one, people who live around that area, those who want to use that road, they will lose confidence in government to protect them. Then the criminals will be emboldened because what they have done is to set a direct message to the Inspector General of Police that they are in charge, that this government is ineffective when it comes to security matters. And the bandits are just making, by not only embarrassing the government, embarrassing the president, who is a retired general. They've just shown that Nigerian state is not capable of defending the citizens. Because if the Inspector General is going there, apart from carrying the instructions of the president, is to assure Nigerians that they have the capability to deal with these bandits. And the very second day, the following day, the bandits send a clear message that this government is ineffective when it comes to security matters.
Now, GKB, what we're looking at here is that Malam Nasser Rufai is saying that, look, they listen to their communication. We serve the security report from time to time, and they know their hideouts, and they have still not gone after them. And that story, that statement is actually very weighty. They listen to them talking. They know their whereabouts and their hideouts. So why have we not moved against these guys?
I don't think we use the word "we," because obviously there seems to be a conflict of resolution somewhere in this government when it comes to what to do. Because if a old governor who claimed that he had intelligence and he has forwarded the same intelligence to the armed forces and nothing is done, then we run into a problem dating back to the days, if you remember, when they said they were moving against Boko Haram. And there was a call that came in and said they should stop and not move any further. This is a confirmation that there are fifth elements within the confines of our security apparatus. Because as far as I'm concerned, once they go there to do their own grandstanding and the president called the meeting, he does nothing. Because what I expect them to do is not to tell us what they are going to do. Do it and tell us you've done it. I expect that the next day, like Mayor said, let us wake up and hear that the bandits have been routed from these hideouts with pictures to show. But it's only in Nigeria that people will tell you what they've done and there's something to show for that kind of malady. No. I think we are in the middle of a failed state.
What we have in Plateau State now, I don't know, maybe it's something that is perennial. It has been before this banditry.
Of course. So it's the same part of insecurity that we're talking about, you know that in Plateau for a long time we have this issue. Then they were able to solve the problem through communal meetings and other negotiations and all that. So apparently something has broken down, for them, not for those people, because it's the same set of people, and that is the modus operandi. They go to communities when they are where they know that people will congregate, so that they'll be able to inflict maximum
Why is it
pain.
difficult for these people to live together? They've been together for many years.
Yes, you see, the problem is complex than that. It has to do with a lot of things. It has to do with land.
Historical.
It has to do, yes, it's that. But the only problem is that we have to now ask the questions: what happened? Because for some time, they'll be able to solve the problem in that local government for some time, because it's ethnic in nature. The problem there is ethnic in nature. And I think the community leaders will be able to broker peace. I don't know what went wrong for them to start this again. But you see, we cannot allow this to continue to happen. It's so scary what is happening in Nigeria. You know, life is now so meaningless that it is commonplace to see 25 people killed. You know, and I don't know how our leaders, how they sleep at night. Because if you know, if you are the head of a country, and every day they are killing Nigerians, and Nigerians are helpless, then what is the essence of government? Because the primary duty of government is protection of life and property. That is the reason why the government was formed in the first place. Everybody was government in their own. They decided to submit their sovereignty to the state, to say, okay, state, protect us. And then the state will come up with rules to say, okay, everybody must live by this rule. We will now protect you. Anybody that contravenes these rules will now have to be dealt with by the state. But the state is showing every day that they are incapable. You know, because when it comes to a state, when the governor of a state, they're supposed to be the chief security officer of that state, when he gets frustrated to say, look, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should go and get mercenaries, because we're giving these people things. That's not the first governor that will complain like that. If you remember, Zulu has also complained like that. The governor of Niger State complained like that. Guy. Yes.
So you should go and defend yourselves.
At every problem, if you remember, you know, we did a show where we interviewed the governor of Katsina, and he was saying that he has to tell his people to go and defend themselves, because the state. Because now the governors don't have any means of coercion. It is the federal government that has that, and it is the duty of the federal government to be able to protect the citizens, and they are capable of doing that. The Inspector General of Police, the service chief, they are just incapable of doing basic security things. That's the truth.
All right. We have hope in the fact that dark clouds will always have some silver linings. Despite high level of moral decadence in our country, some Nigerians are willing to live above board. The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 4 suspects over alleged possession of illicit drugs worth 10 million naira in the Mile 12 area of the city. Confirming the development in the statement, the State Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyin said the suspects were arrested by operatives of Rapid Response Squad, that's the RRS. A member of the syndicate who initially escaped the scene on bike was arrested by the operatives after he returned with 500,000 naira to bribe the officers to release the drugs and the suspects. Gentlemen, there's something about RRS I know from time that
from the foundation.
It's not like, you know, there's this
I wish to say that it is
about them.
peculiar to RRS.
Yes.
But I'm sure there are many officers all over the police who also do resist temptations of this nature. But the case of RRS is very peculiar, because those who have headed RRS in the last 12 years have given leadership at a level that if we are a serious country, RRS will be the example. They will be the face of the police and will be used as a training tool to train other officers. Because you must know that since Ambode days, even Fashola days, they pumped a lot of money into what is now RRS. They have the best gadgets you can think of, including a helicopter and boats. So what all this will come to naught if the manpower does not fit into the vision. But the leadership,
if they are like any other police officer extorting money like the defunct SAS.
Yeah, no, that's a bad example to give. But we commend RS. We have always commended them. They are very professional. Even under this present administration, they've shown leadership and they show commitment. It's not that they don't have bad eggs, they do. But the speed in which they deal with those matters really impresses me.
We have seen even situation whereby
I think RS is proof of failure of government. And I will explain. The federal government controls the police. You understand? But the Nigerian police have been underfunded.
yes,
And nobody cares. Why RRS is effective is because it is being funded by Lagos state government.
because the security funds.
And then the Lagos
Trust
state
funds.
government were able to do the Lagos State Security Trust Fund, where a lot of these companies contribute a lot of money. So by the time the government, Lagos state government has their own, they have enough resources to be able to fund, to get them the necessary tools that they need, to be able to give them the necessary allowances that they need. When you die as a RRS person, there's a lot of money, there's a money voted for that. For the family. That's what I'm saying.
For you to see
that's
police
what I'm saying.
officer saying that I'm bribing you with
shows,
$500,000.
let me tell you something. It shows
cash,
that
and
what
you're
it
saying
means.
that, look,
What it means is that there's nothing wrong with the personnel of the Nigerian police. The problem with the Nigerian police is structural. Is the people who are controlling the Nigerian police that made the Nigerian police to be the way it is. The people who are in RRS are members of the Nigerian police force. They were just deployed from Nigerian police force to RRS. But the only difference is that when they get to RRS, there's a structure in place that is well funded. There are personnel that are well motivated. There are disciplinary. There are things that will put people procedures in place. So those who work there will conform with the proper things they are supposed to do. But when you see a police officer who is frustrated, a police officer that knows that if I die in the course of this duty, IRS is going to pay my family X amount of money. You understand? He will be motivated enough to do that job. You understand what I'm saying? So when somebody comes and offer you a bribe, there is tendency for you to say, no, let me be professional. But when you see a police officer, for example, maybe the salary have not been paid. You understand? The salary has not been paid. Maybe the uniform is no welfare package. Maybe the uniform they had to buy it himself. They had to contribute money to fund to fuel the car that they brought to that place. When they see 500,000, they will collect it. So what we should do is to try to tell the government through the Inspector General of
Sometimes
Police.
I even read their magazines. They call them the good boys.
I know the good boys.
You know, during the time of Olatunji Disu, you see, I'm sure they will still be doing it now.
Yeah,
if your car is broken down, they stay with you.
In fact, what they did, because I do know this, what Tunji Disu did, was to ensure that there is community relationship. In fact, RRS is what the state police will look like if we ever get there. Because he made sure, I'm sure the president man is doing the same thing, that the community is involved in policing. So go out of his way, talk to Bales, talk to Obas, community leaders, and let them know where he stands. So they know they have access. In my area, there was a time these hoodlums were operating, and just a call, 10 minutes, because I called him at Abulegba before I got to Berkeley Estate. 5 cars arrived. Just to buttress what Mayor said. Because they have the logistics. They were not complaining that the car broke down. They are not asking me to bring money for fuel. That has been taken care of by the state. So they are not at Abulegba under 10 minutes. And everything worked. That is, and I keep telling people, this is the best example of what a true late professional state police will look like.
So the flip side of it is that now the level of moral decadence in terms of the way our youths peddle and consume drugs
is scary. And I'll tell you one thing. People talk, people say things. Yes, I'm an old man. I'm 62 years, but I'm somebody
We'll still come to that.
I'm somebody who is very close to most of my friends are the younger people, much younger than me. So I see a lot of young people every time, and I'm scared for this country because the level of drug that goes around these youths is unbelievable.
That tramadol,
do you know that
they hawk it?
No, apart from tramadol, there is Arizona, there is skunk, there is so many things. And the fear, my problem now is that before, when you take ordinary weed, normal weed, when you take normal weed,
marijuana.
you try to, which is marijuana, They've moved from that now. That's Canadian loud. That's only poor people will take that one. But what I'm saying now is that when you want to take drug, when you want to take weed at that time, you will go and hide somewhere. People, when they want to abuse somebody, will say it's Amugbo, is a drug person. Now people feel so proud that they are smoking Arizona or weed or Canadian loud. You go to a nightclub, people will be smoking openly. In a club, in a closed place, you go to parties, you will see young girls, young ladies in their 20s open their bag and bring out loud and start smoking it.
Which one is loud?
Oh, loud is it's a higher form of weed. You know, it's a higher form of weed. These are processed weed. They are processed weed. So what you see people smoking it, and they feel so comfortable doing it. They don't see anything wrong doing it. This so-called hip generation, they are doomed, because from their 20s you will see ladies in their 20s. In fact, ladies smoke more than men now. You see ladies in their 20s smoking loud, Canadian loud, very expensive. That's why those people broke that 500. It's not the normal.
Oh, it's expensive.
Oh, it's not the normal weed that you buy from Suraju in Mushio. It's a go now, because this one, most of those weed, they grow it inside and a closed place.
Glass houses. And
it's very expensive. And you will see our young people smoking it. But my fear is that they feel cool doing it. Taking drugs, they feel cool taking it. It's like a competition. You'll be seeing somebody to be saying, oh, he has graduated to crack, or he has graduated to cocaine or thing.
But you see some funny videos online. You see young men entering, swimming in the gutter, and they'll be pouring water on them, and you begin to look at if this is the effect you are going to derive after smoking, inhaling this. I don't understand.
When I was in the US, there was something called, please, where is my way home? It's a drug that you will be out mentally.
So why
48 hours? I think
48 hours?
And you'll be out. So they will do whatever they want to do to you. That's why they call it a rape drug. For 48 hours, they can do whatever they want to do to you. And when you wake up, you have no memory of what happened to your body. And it happens to both male and female. So it's not really. But the point here is this. There are certain places in Lagos that are becoming notorious for drug use.
In spite of NDA,
and I'm not even talking about the weed stuff. I'm talking about the real serious business. Areas like Ikorodu, you understand? We have people who are willing to take on the state. That's the danger the US is warning about. These people no longer fear authority. They have no need for authority. The state has failed them. And because the state has failed, they are now setting their own rules and living by it. And the danger is this. I keep telling people, I say one day the day problem will start, it will be a day that one person will try to be sane. And those who are insane will deal with him. That's where we are going now. Task force on drugs, I think they have one in Lagos. NDLEA is doing the best they can.
NDLEA is doing, you know why NDLEA is doing a wonderful job? It's because of Marwa that is there. You know, General Marwa has always been an achiever. When he was governor of Lagos, you know, he did Operation Sweep there and solved the problem. And he came in because there was it's like a cabal that controls that thing, that allows all those things. Yeah. So they bring those things in, everybody makes money, and they go home. So when Marwa came, a new general was in town who was not ready to cut deals. So every day they're smashing those things, and that is why you see things like that. Because when they bring those rigs, it's very expensive. So those guys, but we're just lucky that if they had brought it in the afternoon during a busy time or something, or well concealed, they would have taken it to wherever they were taking it to.
All right, but we're still finding it hard to swallow the bitterness of last Monday attacks on an Abuja-Kaduna train. Another tragedy is on our hands. Bandits have raided some houses at Angua Maji in Jerry Town along Abuja-Kaduna Highway and abducted 22 villagers. Residents say the bandits stormed the town around 11 p.m. on Sunday and began to wake up people in their homes before marching them away. This happened barely 24 hours after the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, inspected their highway. Meanwhile, civil society organizations have rejected the idea of hiring mercenaries to tackle insecurity in the country. According to them, the Nigerian military has the capacity to handle the security problem. Let's start from this highway now. Now it's not safe. The Nigerian Railway Corporation, they've suspended indefinitely, that route, that Kaduna Abuja.
Yeah, that's the most sensible thing to do.
It's not safe. And going by road is like,
no, we are safe. Nigeria is moving gradually towards a failed state. No, where is safe? Where is safe? The only place that is relatively safe is maybe Southwest Lagos. That's all. HIPOP is doing all kinds of things in the Southeast. ISWAP and Boko Haram is doing whatever they were doing in the Northeast. Bandits have taken over the entire Northwest and North Central.
Lagos is safe, Abuja is safe.
That's what I'm saying. Those are basically, you can just say that it's safe. Because apart from those areas, why is it safe? And because from this same Lagos to Abuja, you cannot travel from Lagos to Abuja. The roads are not safe. There's tendency that you may not get there because there are bandits on all those routes. Even there was a time, as recently as about 3 weeks ago, that was kidnapping on Lagos Ibadan Expressway. The people, the young people like that, they had to launch something to pay the ransom. But you see, the problem is that I can understand that the Nigerian military is overwhelmed because they are fighting on all fronts, and they are not prepared for that. I concede that. But this government, in 7 years, should have been able to come up with a new security architecture that will take charge of these bandits. But I think the problem with the bandits is that this government do not have the will to take on the bandits.
Why?
I don't know why. But it's obvious, because let me tell you something. I am not a general. I've said this several times here. But I watch military films, I read military tactics, and I know that the tactics that this government is using can never work. It can never work. So they know, because they are generals. So they know that it cannot work. So they must have an interest in not wanting it to work.
Or to end.
Or to end. Because you see, why I said so is that, who are these bandits? If you look at the bandits, they are not up to 5,000, 10,000 people.
Tops.
Bandits?
Yes.
The governor of Katsina actually said or governor of Zamfara, he said they have over 30,000.
You see,
it's like a movement now.
The reason for that is that it is not, that's not the core team. Because the problem with the bandits is that we have the original people from Mali and Niger who are the Tuaregs, who are professional bandits.
Okay.
That's what they do. They are professional bandits.
The Inspector General of Police, I don't know, maybe to say if we've been involving the military guys in this, but already it's as if the Nigerian police it's as if that force is overwhelmed right now, as in they might not have what it takes. Because when you see these bandits, what they carry around, you see RPG, you see
AK-49,
rockets, anti-aircraft, and you see some other very sophisticated equipment that you don't get to see with the police on a regular day.
They are well equipped. Don't forget that the late Army Chief, Tairu, I think, the one that died in the crash, once said that despite all the billions that were voted, he could not, for the life of him, see where those equipments are. I think this is the reason why the war cannot end. A lot of people are making money from this war. And that's, it doesn't need to be a rocket scientist to know this. Because normally, somebody called me from the north and said, the Abuja-Kaduna highway is about 230 kilometers. Areas of forests is less than 30. This is the same government that has nothing less than 30, 40 helicopters following VIPs around, doing surveillance for things that are not important. And you and I know that bandits, like Mayor said, will make a statement. Immediately they came on board. And then you left these people to their devices, allow the villagers to suffer. It's the failure of government, because you know they will come. How many villages can be in 30 kilometers radius? Kaduna is not the most populous state in Nigeria. You understand? How many villages will be in that axis that cannot be protected? How many villages will be in that axis that you cannot do surveillance, at least for 8 hours after the fact? These are things that does not require going to military school. Something is wrong somewhere. Some people just don't want this war to end. People are making billions from this war, and that to me is the tragedy, because they are killing our people at the rate that cannot be replaced. Don't forget that these are the same people who has resisted till today the creation of state police.
And when you look at them, these are young men.
And most of them are in their 20s.
No, I was trying to explain the other time. There are different types of bandits that we have. We have the professional bandits, the Tuaregs from Mali and Niger.
Okay.
And they move around. They do like that. They were the same set of people that went to fight in Mali, in Libya. During the time, they were recruited. Sometimes some of them fight as mercenaries. They were recruited to go and fight in Libya. When they came back and they got to Mali, they created problem in Mali for a long time. You understand? They almost even took over government because they are bandits. They are soldiers of fortune. Yeah. So those are the core people and the bandits. Then when they came in, there are some people that were brought in for election purposes as thugs. There were people that were brought in as thugs. But you know, people don't learn from history. The same mistake was made in the Niger Delta. Because it is the thugs that were recruited in Niger Delta that became militant when they didn't have anything to do. So you cannot bring in people, use them for certain purpose, and you think that,
guns.
Yes, and you harm them, and you think that you just tell them to go, and they will go. They won't. They will cause two problems. So that's another set of people. Then there is another set of people that are young people who,
due to unemployment
and poverty, they sort people who can say, okay, if you are part of us, you will make money. They make a lot of money from kidnappings. They rob people. They do that. Those ones join them. Then there is the remnants of Boko Haram from the Shekau faction. That's why things are becoming difficult, because you have people who have been involved in fighting battles for a long time, who are part of these bandits. So how do I think this government should fight these bandits? I've said that several times again. This government must sit down, make up their mind that, look, we want to fight these bandits. Provide the necessary money and equipment for it. Have a general to control it, and then take each state in the northwest and north central and take the fight to the bandits and send them to wherever they came from. You must take the fight to them at the same time. You must crush them at the same time.
If you notice,
using Tucano to go and bomb some place, you are just wasting your time. They will move to another state.
Looking at the way they operate, they are hardened.
No, they are hardened. Some of them were part of Boko Haram that fought several battles. These two areas, I'm telling you, they fought in Libya, they fought in Mali, they fought in Chad. They fought in Chad. They are soldiers of fortune. So that is why they can take on our military at will. That is who they are. So we have to show the will to take them on. If we think we can say that, they are bandits, because some of them, like I said, are local people who now join these bandits. That's why you can see people like Sheikh Gumi saying, try to accommodate them.
Because what is worrisome now is that the expansion, the population, the way their recruitment, and you can see how rapid. If you watch the visual, you can see they are just growing and just growing. Nothing to serve as like a deterrent.
You said the magic word. There are no deterrents, because once you are not punished for a crime, somebody will look at you as a role model and decide to be like you.
It's a fast-growing industry.
It's like any virus. Once you have somewhere to breathe, it could spread it. Don't forget, if you catch some people today, they will not even tell you why they are bandits. Some say because they stole their cattle. Some say because they are poor. Some tell you because they are Nigerian. A million reasons will come. But the core thing is that there are no consequences for the actions. And once there are no consequences, young people are very, as you know, they like what they see and they will join. And this is what, but again, like you just said, the failure of the state is not only the inability to defend our people, it's also the inability to stop our people from joining the other side. That's even more dangerous. And that to me is the danger we face.
Okay, I have Idris from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Idris.
Thank you very much, sir. I've been trying this number for God knows how long. But I will not get through. Thank God I get through this evening. I so much like the way the other man there, I don't know his name, the man of white, has spoken. As a matter of fact, I am a mobile police officer, sir. I have been to special duties in some of these places. This government, the government that choose to work with brothers, will not take us anywhere. He only brought his brothers to come and keep.
Hello? I would have loved to listen to this.
This is a mobile police officer.
He said he's a mobile police officer, and they have challenges.
Governor Nasir El-Rufai, you know, anytime he talks, no matter how controversial it sounds like, but I listen to him anytime he talk. Now, talking about mercenaries,
I will never support
is out of his purview. A lot of people
no,
say,
we can't even do that. That's what I've explained to you the other time. Part of the problem we have is the talks that even himself is aware of that they brought in during the election in 2015.
We can't substantiate that.
Yeah, okay, we can't substantiate it. But according to some people, according to some people, according to some,
but you can substantiate that he said he was paying foreign Fulanis to stop attacking his people.
I didn't hear that. I read it.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that we cannot afford to bring in soldiers of fortune. You can never win that war.
No, let's look at what happened.
Those people don't have anything.
Let's look at what happened in the last administration.
Yeah.
We were told, I didn't see them.
Yes.
They won't come officially.
Yes, they brought in mercenaries.
They were contacted and they said they were able to clear a lot of these bandits, Boko Haram guys, from the 14 local government that under siege.
You know the difference on that one and now? I will tell you the difference. The difference at that time was that Boko Haram had taken over some local governments and they were there.
They are stationary.
They were stationed there. So bringing in mercenaries to clear them is a specific job. You understand? The theater of war is defined. You understand? It's defined because it is these 14 local governments that we want you to help us clear them. They come. It's like going for a normal military operation. These people are there. We want to clear them from this 14 local government. And they succeeded in doing that, pushing them back into Sambisa. It's different in this one. Because the bandits that we are fighting, that's what I'm saying, they are not stationed in one state. They are highly mobile bandits who are in more than all the states in the northwest and most states in the north central. So if you bring in mercenaries, you are going to bring the soldiers of fortune who do not owe you any loyalty. What they want is money. So in other words, if you pay them money to help you clear something, and the bandits in a particular place also offer to pay them money, they may compromise. So you cannot trust mercenaries. I can understand the frustration of the governor. What the governor is saying is that, look, the state should be able to handle this problem because we intelligent to show where these people are. So why is it that we cannot take them on? But taking them on is not because they are highly mobile. They are not in one place. So the best we can achieve is that if we bring these mercenaries and they are effective, they will probably push those people from Kaduna to another state. So is the governor of that state going to bring his own mercenary? Don't let us go through that route. I think the Nigerian state should be able to solve the problem with that.
Some people are saying that it will even dampen the morale of our military guys that have performed creditably well in the northeast.
Yeah, not only the northeast, even in some parts of the northwest. Only that what the Yorubas will call Omimpo Jokalo, as the case may be. I don't think any same person should agree for anybody to bring in mercenaries because they are soldiers of fortune. Their loyalty lies with their pockets. And there's nothing you can do after the initial operation to even take them out of your country. Because they are mercenaries, you can simply blend into the system and start causing you more problem that they came here to solve. I understand that the man is frustrated, but even with that, when people said people should need to equip vigilantes, create state police, it's the same governors from this particular part of the country that refuse to do it. So it's like somebody being beaten with a cane and simply said, no, you cannot allow them to ban canes. And somebody said, let's ban it. They said, no, cane is part of our culture. You cannot ban it. So that's the road we go to today. Because I'm telling you, the role that Amotekun has played in the Southwest to reduce what we go through in the last 3 years can only be imagined.
And if we can replicate that in every region, if we have state police in every state to complement what the Nigerian police is doing now, we will reduce the problem of banditry.
Okay, let's speak. Monday is calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I hear Mr. Kimpelu say that Abuja is fled. Abuja is safe. Abuja is not safe. I'm telling you, Abuja. Even yesterday, I went to my as a civil servant. I went to my farm to check my farm. I met these bandits inside my farm, removing the seed yams I planted in the farm. And they immediately they saw me, they attacked me, they pursued me to kill me. Honestly speaking, if not that I ran away, and with the help of the neighbors, because the farm is just close to the houses. If not the people, they pursued me. If you see me even today, as I'm telling you, I did not go to work because of the bruises. They nearly to use knife to kill me, but because of the help of the people, they had to rescue me. After being a dead man today, what I'm telling you today, honestly speaking, Abuja is still not even safe. That Abuja is not safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Talking about the outskirts.
We understand. Like you said, the relatively safety is, of course, relative when we are talking about it. The Southwest is relatively safe. But once you move out of the Southwest, at the fringes of the Southwest, the problems will persist. That's why we said that the role that Amotekun played is fundamental to keeping things on the low, especially in Osun, Ondo, and Oyo states. Yeah. And it can be done everywhere. Like it's not rocket science. I don't know why the northern governors don't want to go to that route.
Every crime is local.
Imagine the vigilantes in Borno.
A state police will be more effective than the federal police. It's taking, because they know the community. All these bandits, all these people, all these criminals, they live among people. They live in some areas.
All right, and finally, after about 8 shifts in the deadline given to Nigerians to link their national identification number, that's NIN, to their subscriber identification modules, that's SIM cards, the extension has ended on the 31st of March with no clear direction on what's to come. Now, the federal government has ordered telcos operators to bar outgoing calls on all SIMs not linked with NIN in the country. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Mr. Ali Pantami, gave the directive in a statement in Abuja. Yes, some people we are so docile in this country.
No. Anybody that the government gave enough time for people to.
That's why I started on that note. If after 8 shifts,
anybody that has not done that does not deserve to use his phone.
I spoke with somebody and
there's no question about that.
I don't have NIN number. And I said,
if you don't have NIN number, if you don't have NIN number and you have not done the needful, then you won't be able to use your phone until you do that. You see, because that is part of the security thing that we need. We don't have database. We don't have, governments cannot do a lot of things because they don't even know the number of people they are working with.
Data system.
If the government comes up with a policy and they give enough time for people to do that, they've kept shifting the goalpost and all that. I believe that by now, everybody should be able to have linked that. If you have not done that, then you should not be able to use your phone. It's a straightforward thing. So go back and do it.
Should be tolerated.
I don't think so.
The person should be disconnected.
Yes, I think the government has done.
That's what they said.
I think the government has done enough. Has given enough time.
They can receive calls.
They can receive calls. Outgoing calls. Yes.
Which makes sense. It's also part of the extension that is not an extension. Because ultimately you have to stop, basically that you have time, the people can still call you, but you can't call out. I think the problem we have in this country is that we do have database, actually. Because I remember there was a time the former chairman of First Bank, the lady, was emphatic. The Nigerian banking system has enough data, to run this country. And it's true. The problem is that everybody wants to create their own little
empire. How many Nigerians out of the 200 million have bank accounts?
Believe me.
The people that bank outside.
Do you know the level of all these small banks that are tied to the data bank? All these 2-room banks that they do. A lot, because I know a man in my area, he sends money to Bauchi. Yeah, he's an Okada rider. So all the money he makes, he sent to his family through all these things. And I said, I said, no, the man is something is registered with a bank, and he has an NIN. So if you gave him his money, the bank that's guaranteeing that money will pay him back his money if money gets lost.
We've not been able to maximize this thing to fight crime
At all.
effectively.
Yeah, that's why you're
saying
one of the
they
reasons.
listen to bandits, they hear them talk and everything,
that's one of the reasons,
and you can't track them.
That's one of the reasons why government wants to do this. Because if you notice, if you check, what's the name of this our friend that's in detention now? Kyari. Why Abakari was a super cop that most people didn't know is that he had equipment from the FBI that he can use to track any call. You don't even need to use that phone. They will track it. Somebody who is a high up person in a telco told me that that is the secret. Most times, most crimes that he busted was because he can track those calls. You understand? So if government, if there's a database and they can know who is making what call, it will help security wise, because most of these bandits and criminals also make calls.
And they make money transfers.
The money that they collect, they have to make calls.
Yes, they have
to make calls to demand ransom. So if there's a database that can be tracked, it will help government to be able to solve to be able to aid them in solving problems of crime. So that is why it is important, because you see, one of the problems that we have in Nigeria is that we are very stubborn people. We don't take things seriously. When government tells you that go and do something, people will not do it unless they put something in place that will affect their interest. Then they will go and do it. So you have to sometimes, for the general good, you have to force people to do what is right.
And I think this will work, because if you want to collect your international passport now,
you require
ask for NIN number.
Yeah.
If you want to collect your JAM form, NIN number. So it's like, we are getting there.
All over the world, these are things that people take for granted. It's only in Nigeria that we think it's a big deal. I have an education number opens so many doors. Because normally with your NIN, as you use it here, or social security numbers, they use it elsewhere. It's basically your card to tell who you are.
That's who you are.
That's who you are. That's your number for life.
A lot of people in this country, government do not even know where they are or who they are.
NIN is just your number to show you are a person.
How can government not know who you are? Government have to know who you are.
They have to plan for you.
The society must know who you are. So if you don't want to do that, then you don't use your phone.
Don't use our facilities.
Don't use the facilities. I agree with that.
So even public toilets must show NIN. It will get to that bad, they'll just force people to do it. Public toilet, I'll tell them, please, anybody do NIN.
And don't tell me that people cannot do NIN.
It's just that
people is everywhere. I will give you an example. That when we wanted to file tax returns, one of my security guards in the office didn't have NIN, and I was so upset. And I told the guy, and I said, look, you cannot stop our company. That means you won't work again. You can't work here. Because now they said we have to put everybody, and you cannot do that. So you can't work here. I'm sorry, you can't work. The guy went, the following day he did the NIN. He went because I told him that he will not work in that office again. The following day I said, but you said he said, oh, somebody took him to one place in my estate, the estate office. They do it there. The NIN is there.
All the major bus stops.
Yes, it's there.
All the security guys.
Yes, it's there.
They just capture it and get the number.
Normally, it's there. You walk in and do it. But people don't want to do it unless it affects their interests. Directly. So it is important for government to be very firm about it, because the government, in fairness, are giving enough time for people to do that.
They've bent over backward.
They've given enough time.
Yeah.
They've given enough time.
How about those outside the country?
If you have your international passport, you're also going to do NIN in the embassies. I don't think it's a problem for them, really, because most of the time, they will have something to show that they are Nigerians. Personally, normally in some countries, 3-year passport is enough. But if they are abroad and they have things to do here, they follow the rules, like we just said, 24 hours. You can do it at the airport. Just land at the airport, go to the nearest one.
You can do it.
I
confirm that. My security guard did it in 24 hours.
Just to capture now, it's to capture. The number is waiting in the office. They just put your face and something to eat, and then put it together. Something that will take under 12 hours to do.
With that, I think we can even we have a fair idea of
how many
population.
Yeah, because
population
we kept saying we are 200 million. There's no evidence to show that we are 200 million. Which I don't agree that we are up to 200 million. We are not up to 200 million.
Some of us who travel in
everybody just keep using estimates to say, okay, based on this and that, we are 200 million. But this NI thing will be able to tell us how many people we have in the country.
Then how do we synchronize the whole thing? As in, you have BVN, you have NIN, you have driver's license.
Your NIN is your primary source of
national ID card. You have your voter card.
No, each one is doing different things.
Yep.
NIN is just government data to show who you are, to identify who you are. BVN is for you to be able to use bank facilities.
You don't have bank account.
You understand? If you don't have bank account, for example, you don't have any need for BVN. So each one serves different purpose. But the NIN is the one that government is the government database to show who you are.
Okay, I think I have Andrew from Lagos.
All right.
Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, the three wise men.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Go ahead.
Actually, what I want to say is that, sorry, I'm going to digress a little from the first statement you said concerning drugs. You see, this drugs issue that is going on the country right now, I think the government has a big role to play. And if they are now handling it well, tomorrow, this same bandit issue we're talking about is linked to just the same drug habit we are having in the country in our youth today. Then second, let's come to the issue of military or hiring foreigners to come and fight our
Mercenaries.
I must tell you confidently that Nigerian army can take care of the matter. They can do it because I'm an agency and I know very well, just like what Buba Marwa is doing right now in this issue of drugs. If you can give him that work or make him say, okay, create an association where you can bring up some military and take care of such conditions that is happening within the North Central, the Northwest, and the bandit issues. And I believe that one day somebody will come that will do it wholeheartedly, that issue will come down. It's because we have not gotten the right person to take care of this issue. That is why you are seeing these challenges. I believe the Nigerian army can do it. If you bring a foreigner, we are just spending our money. I bet you, if you bring a foreigner, you are not going to get any results from this.
Thank you for your contribution. Your final take on this.
Yeah, I agree with him wholeheartedly. You cannot throw away your sovereignty unless it's been done at the highest level. If you are inviting another country to help you out, it's a different thing. That's between state and state. But to bring the mercenaries, just open up a whole level of kind of worms.
My final take is that it's the duty of government to protect its citizens.
They have no other job.
The primary duty of government is protection of life and properties. This government should earn its legitimacy by protecting Nigerians. They have failed in their duty to protect life and properties.
Wow. Osiare Ganika Debalogo.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Olupusabuso is 62 today.
Yeah, the ancestor is in the house.
2 years ago, you actually, because of COVID, we couldn't come together.
Some of us did.
Yes. How do you feel at 62? Still, you're looking young?
I feel young. I feel healthy. I'm grateful that I'm enjoying His grace because I don't feel 62. I won't lie to you. I'm healthy. I'm good. I'm young at heart. I don't, like I said, I have a lot of friends who are younger than me. I roll, I still go to clubs, I still go to parties. I'm an outgoing person, so I'm still,
congratulations, and we have just two spectacular members of our team as citizens. Just two today is his birthday.
We should remember today as Day of Ancestors.
Yes, so citizens.
So I'm an ancestor.
Yeah, I think you share the same birthday with
both of them will never let me.
Only you need people that are born on April 4.
But geniuses were born in March.
I don't know about.
Even your friend was
give them today. Don't compete with them today. Give them today.
So I cannot fight ancestors.
To
I want to become an ancestor.
Yes, Jones Hussein. And anytime I'm not around, Jones man that is always here. So I say happy birthday to Citizen Jones.
Happy birthday, sir.
And all roads lead to Omole Estate.
No, we are ready. We are fasting. We are going to break fast.
It's fasting period.
No, we are going to break. We'll say enjoy ourselves.
All right.
We'll do the needful.
And that's our offering on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 and join us on Sunday for our Sunday special Journalist Hangout at between 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Welcome. See you tomorrow and God bless Nigeria.